please, no! 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 No!
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Soviet Tier 8 tank destroyer, the Bizon T-103. This is a tank destroyer that I very much like. It's one that I haven't played for ages, and I don't know why. I think it's probably, for me anyway, sport for choice. You know, I've got 669 tanks in the garage, so I end up like just neglecting some tanks even if I like them. Like this tank is really good. Now the hull armour isn't the best, but the turret armour is fantastic. The cupola on top is a weak spot, but I mean that's a good thing really, right? In terms of balancing. The turret front is about 250, 260 about effectiveness, something like that, which is really good, really good for the tier. At tier 8 and against some tier 9s, it's very good. Against tier 10s, obviously, it starts to struggle, especially when they start to fire premium rounds. And that is where, that's where it can fall down, right? But you're a tier 8, right? So that's going to happen. But it can bounce things off its turret. I'm not saying it always will, but it can. The gun is great. It's not brilliant at long distance, but at closer ranges, it's got .36 accuracy, which, you know, it's not bad. It's good, really, to be honest. And it slaps for 440, which is very nice. It's a very brawly TD. And generally, the gun is very nice. Like I say, it's just at range, it can be a little bit derpy, but that's where the .36 starts to take effect, really. But and a bit of the shell velocity as well. But for the most part, this gun, when you're in a brawling situation where you're up in people's faces, you're constantly fighting people, it can be glorious. And the penetration is also fantastic for this tank. It's like 252 or something like that on the AP, and like about 305 on its premium, which means you are never going to struggle with anything. Like that 257 in front of us is going to get wrecked. And the other thing I'm going to mention is, do we all remember what this map is? I think it's called, it might be called Erlenberg, you know, guys. I've not seen this map in years. Yeah, you can tell, you can tell, all jokes aside, quite how long this replay's been sitting in my folder for, because this is Erlenberg. And if we all know what it's been like playing this game for the past 2-3 months, the map rotation has been atrocious. And it's been the same amount of maps. And when I watch these replays back there, you know, relatively older, I sit there and go, oh, look, it's Erlenberg. Oh, my goodness, it's Malinovka. Oh, Westfield. Yes, I love you. You know, and it does make me realise quite how much I do miss these maps. Hopefully they'll be back in rotation at some point soon. And hopefully the update on Tuesday will bring back some maps that have been reworked and they look nice. So, the more the merrier. So, in this game on Erlenberg, we have been brawling. We've been putting in the work. That Dreadnought could have hurt us quite badly then. Unfortunately, we missed him as he pulled back. It's a scary tank, right? There's a T-29 above us as well. There's those guys on our right. This position we're in is a little bit perilous. And I am playing with fire with this Dreadnought, but he's firing HE. I'd be dead if he was firing AP, right? Or not dead. He wouldn't have killed me. But I'd have lost a lot of health. And yeah, it's a bit risky playing here as well, especially with the artillery. The artillery could hurt us quite badly. But luckily, we get a nice shot into the top of his, well, I say the top of his turret, into the side of his turret for a lot. And it's not just the alpha, it's the reload as well. For 440, having a 9-second reload is delightful. The DPM is pretty nice. It hits hard. This tank is great. And the one thing I didn't realise until I was playing it with Swindle recently is that it's got 100mm of side armour, right? It can actually side scrape really effectively. Surprisingly enough. Like, he bounced an icebreaker in a game that was a really good game that funnily enough, neither of us recorded, which is rather annoying. But yeah, he like bounced a 128 round from an icebreaker, and it was like, oh, I don't think side scripting that's going to do. What? Wait, you bounced that? Oh, so yeah, like the sidearm, you can side script things really quite well. And unfortunately, in that game, artillery had its wicked way with us. Like I said, I had to jinx it. It happened. It came and pooped on us. End of the game. So we've got Ace Tanker, 4k damage, 1873 base XP, 1200 assistance, 2 kills, and like I said, nice game for the tank on a map that we all long to see again probably at this point. I mean, I was never the biggest fan of Erlenberg just from the metas that happen on it, but not having it for like light tanks and stuff like that and fast mediums with good view range, yeah, I miss it a hell of a lot. The one other thing that this tank is good at is credit making. As you see, 136,000 made in that last game. That's really nice. And because it's a high alpha TD, the more you pen with the high alpha, the more credits you're going to make, generally. I don't know what makes it that way, but if you've got higher alpha tanks generally, and you've got a decent multiplier on the silver, I don't know what the actual multiplier is on this tank. If you pen more shots with the big guns, you tend to make quite a lot of money, and this is one of those tanks that if you pen your shots, you're going to be making bank, which is great. So we're on El Haloof, and we are going to go to the normal spot where I'd go to beat Hull down, and that is obviously at B3. Obviously that is a really good spot to be at, because well, you can get Hull down and you can catch out loads of people that are crossing. If people sit where that stone cold is, you can shoot them quite easily as well, and it generally works out as a nice position. And with no artillery in this game, we can work this ridge line as well a lot better, because we can move further out into different locations basically and not get punished for it. So where I think it's Good Cat, I'm not quite sure who's in the medium and who's in the TD. Where the medium is, whoever it is at B2, you can be there safe in the knowledge that you're not going to get pooped on, which is good. When artillery's in play, that is not a good spot. But when there is no artillery, it can be. And it can be effective for taking out these guys where the stone cold and the T-32 is. Now, I've tried that T-32 and unfortunately I don't get back to get another shot at it. And I'm going to try and be cheeky and pop a shot at this stone cold. But the Motherland is going to sort of block the attempts. But that means we get a nice tracking shot into the Sergeant Slaughter and get like a decent amount of assistance for it. We get a nice shot straight into the lower plate of that T-32. It's lovely. And you, like I say, look at the alpha, 1776 and 4 shots. Delightful. We're going to track the VK101P because the angle on that, I was thinking about the lower plate, but the angle on it is a little bit tricky. I might pen it, I might not. We get lucky that we bounce him. He's got the small gun, and we do pen the lower plate. I was kind of tracking it, hoping that someone might blap it and I'll get assistance for it, but unfortunately no one did. I mean, the hull armour on this tank is pretty terrible, right? It's legitimately the same as what a box tank would be. But it, especially with the sandbags and stuff, it can just ricochet things sometimes. And obviously the good thing about the Bizon over the T-103, the unskinned version, is the sandbags and the razor wire. It all acts as spaced armour, which means if you face things like Earthshakers, Draugans, things that fire HE, it'll just hit the sandbags and explode. So there's quite a lot of times where you won't get, where they'll fire at you and do 100 damage, which is great. So we shut down the T-32, and because we've got the hit points, we're not bothered about taking hits at the minute. We know we can attack them, and we're just attacking this T-28 now with Good Cat. I get the shot into the track, so I wanted to track and pen it, but I rushed the shot because I wanted the tracking assist from Good Cat. And I was thinking, I want the track and the pen before he fires, so I rushed the shot. Unfortunately, didn't get the pen, but did get the tracking shot, so we did get some assistance from it, which is okay. We've steamrolled their team on this 1-2 line, completely steamrolled them. We're just going to roll this way. The Balsigs in the middle, the medium light and the other medium are over near our spawn. And it's encounter, so I mean we don't have to worry about going back to our base because it's an encounter base. So that's why we're quite happy to steam forward this way. I'm loading HE now because obviously it's a Balsig, and I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to pen the Baltic. There's another TD as well, which I'm not sure what it is, but who knows? I might be thinking I could pen it. But there's the Baltic. It's like, oh, come on. Oh, 616. Oh, yes. They're the roll. That's what we love to see. Oh. Sorry. Yeah. Juicy. When you see those rolls flying with HE on stuff like Baltics and stuff, oh, it's delightful. I can tell you that HE works against things like Becky Lynchers and Tiger Sharks and Trailblazers as well, and you hit them really hard. It's really nice. And 616 is great. There, oh, it's an IKV 90B. Yeah, that thing's paper. We can pen that with HE, but unfortunately the shell hits the ridgeline, so we don't quite hit that guy. We're going to go after him though. There's still the medium, the light tank in our base, and the other medium, which is now unloading on us, is an Ariete. So as soon as that Ariete started firing at us, I decided, you know what, I've got to turn in, and that instinctive moment of turning to the left there actually absorbed the shot into my tracks, and luckily he only tracked me, didn't damage me, which is alright. He's spotted over there, which means either way he's going to die to a good cat at the end of the day. And I'm just going to charge his 90B to see if I can get a shot. I'm like, please let me get a shot. I want a shot. I want a shot. Come on. Come on. Well, I want the shot into this guy. I want it. Yes, we got it. And that was our 4th kill of the game. 4.3k damage and 1,000 assistance. And that light tank is over there. And the likelihood of us getting another shot of damage at this light tank is, well, non-existent. And as I say that, the 111 GFT shuts him down. So we win that game again. Another great game for this tank. 4.3k damage. And yeah, look at that. Another 132,000 credits made as well. Funnily enough, that's 2 games in a row of that. That's pretty weird. This tank is great. So we get a high caliber, 4.3k damage, like I say, 4 kills, 2k base. And it's a pretty damn good tank. It's well worth picking up. It's a very solid TD and a very good brawler. So as always, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.